Quicksand is no joke, boys. When them spiders crawling up your arms.
Ford Bronco come wheeling into Hickory Tower. I'm like, what?
She told me that when she saw me, when I walked through the door because I was late, she was like, that's gonna be my man.
Brand new flat screen, new J's, and you gotta get set. You feel me?
I want to be remembered for, being the best dad.
An outlook on everything. You know what I mean? So it's
Hang on, time out.
Did you? Come on, man.
Are you kidding?
My friends dropping gems, sports, culture, entertainment from a broader lens. This where it all begins, and we'll be talking that on the off the track. The whole crew ready, it's time to drop the jack.
What's going on, world? Welcome back to Drop the Jack. It's your guy, Darrell Lewis, and my guys haven't changed. I got Paul Swan with me. Woo! Jordan Page.
Juice, the Buffalo
Michael
Kid.
Hick.
We are back, baby.
And Mamba.
You know what it is, man. You know what
man,
it is.
we about to talk about a lot of stuff today, man. And I missed y'all, man. I couldn't wait to get back here to talk, have these conversations that we've been having, man, because they just been so good, man. Missed y'all.
How's everyone? You guys good?
Doing good, man.
It's good to be back with everybody. Everyone's looking good. Jordan, what happened to your necklaces?
I don't really want to talk about this touchy.
Touchy
It's touchy.
subject.
I lost mine too, brother. It's all good.
All right, man. You
I
still
don't
look
take my
fresh.
chin off for nobody. I did it.
Still look good. Look, boys, I just want to get right into it today because everybody here, except me, at least, you guys have relationships, that you're in, and I kind of want to know how did you get to this point? Like, how did you get to the point where you're like, now's a good time to settle down. So when did you first decide, like, this is a good partner, and what goes into those things?
First off, you're in a little bit of a relationship. We talked about it earlier, but maybe that's for another day.
Should we put that on there?
Another day. So tell me about the first date. Like, let's start there.
First date?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. I remember mine, and it was in Winston-Salem. Me and my beautiful wife, Mariel Swan. She's from Tennessee. I'm from Wisconsin. We both were in North Carolina. I'd been here for maybe a couple years, and she had just moved out here with her best friend Whitney, who is Austin's wife. And so we had been hanging out. They would always be going to the track, and me and her would just be kind of hanging out at the house and whatnot. And then I finally mustered up the courage.
Oh,
so, hey, look,
how much tequila did that take?
No, hey, we had been kind of like courting each other, I guess you could say, for a little while. Okay. And then we finally went out on a date. And I kind of, at this point, because we had been courting each other, I kind of thought we were, already kind of like a thing. But, she's the kind of girl, she's old school, she's old fashioned.
You
she's
didn't
like,
ask me.
yeah, you didn't ask me. So we went out on this date, and like I said, we've been hanging out and everything. We went to BJ's in Winston, the restaurant, and we were eating. She had this whole letter written out, actually, like where she was going to try to break up with me because, like, she didn't know where this was going.
So you almost missed it.
Yeah, exactly. I almost missed
Wait, you almost got broken up with without being in the relationship?
Yeah, almost got done without even being in the relationship. So we're out at dinner, we're having a great time, and she had this long letter she wrote me, and at the end of dinner, she said, "Oh, Paul, I want to give you this letter." And so she handed it to me, and I open it, I'm reading it, I'm like, all right, well, I got to go to the bathroom quick. So I went to the bathroom and, didn't really read much of it. And
typical guy.
Yeah, typical guy, typical boy, Yeah. Came back, I said, you want to go to the movies? And so we went to the movies and made out like we were in middle school the whole movie. She couldn't resist.
That letter was a bluff.
Yeah, the letter was a bluff. She was trying to, yeah, exactly. So
it was a bluff.
So that was kind of like the first date where I almost lost her, and then like after that we kind of, we talked about it, and she said, well, I'm like, I just kind of figured we were together, like, and she said, well, no, you never asked me, and I'm like, all right, well, you want to be my girlfriend? And so then it was history from there.
Well, Hicks, you're a little older, so does it go? I'm sure your first date wasn't as it wasn't set up like that.
It wasn't nothing like that, but no. So my wife, she's the daughter of Eddie Wood, so she was at the racetrack.
Whoa, big time.
And I used to work there, right? So I know everybody there. I know the family. She came to the racetrack and I saw her and I was like, I went up to her uncle. I'm like, hey Terry, I'm like, you gotta hook me up with her. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're crazy. I'm like, come on, man, just go talk to her and get her number. So anyways, long story short, I ended up getting her number, and I ended up talking to her a little while. And we were gonna go eat dinner at Hickory Tavern. So obviously, who she was, like, I'm thinking she's gonna roll in like a BMW or something like that. And I'm standing there and I'm like, man, she's like 5 minutes late. Next thing you know, it's like this 1996 Ford Bronco come wheeling into Hickory Tower. I'm like, what? What have I got myself into? But yeah, that's how it started, right? Like we had a great first date and kind of ran with it from
Where'd
there.
y'all go?
Hickory Tavern, man.
Oh, that's the
So by the
yeah, okay.
Hickory Tavern.
You would go to Hickory Tavern for a first date.
That's right.
Well, man, that brings me into mind. So I'll talk about my first date. I met my wife, Emily Edwards, at High Point University. So we met in college, man, and she was young. She was a freshman. I was a junior.
Whoa.
No, I mean, look, I saw the potential.
Robbing the cradle.
And he was playing ball. You know, he was playing ball, so she was seeing him. So.
Man, I wasn't even 21 yet. So, yeah, met Emily, man. She was a freshman. I was a junior. I just transferred into High Point University. And she was real quiet, you know, so I was always kind of intrigued by her. And
Mysterious.
yeah, bro. So I was like, you know, I had some homegirls that was from back home, and she used to hang out with them. And I'm like, man, who is this, you know, tall girl? She don't say much. So I press her. I'm like, what's up, man? Why you don't never talk, you know? But yeah, that's how we met. And it was funny because her two friends, they were cool and they kind of liked me, but I was more intrigued with the quiet one. You know what I'm saying? So I found a way to end up talking to her and keeping it a secret. And but our first date, man, was at the Charlotte Hornets game.
Wow.
We went to a basketball game.
That's a good
which
first
was
date.
which was cool with me.
Yeah.
And I never really been to an NBA game. Her dad actually had like some seats that he wasn't going to use and stuff. So we went to the Hornets game, man. And what makes meeting Emily like super special was like, 'cause coming from where I'm from, you always had to like put on for the girls. You know, I dressed up. I had the new J's on. I was fresh. Went to the mall, spent my Pell Grant money from college.
The
You know what I'm
Pell,
saying?
baby.
You know what I mean? You got that. You ran and got a brand new flat screen, new J's, and you got a new
screen.
You feel me? So
You said a
I
flat
got
screen.
fresh. And what kind of drew me in was she didn't care about nothing that I was wearing. She was more intentional and in tune with just hanging out with me.
already
You feel what I'm saying? But for my whole life, it was like I had to dress the best.
show
So
out.
it's like, oh, you look good. Like, I see them J's you got on board. Nah, she was like, good conversation,
Right.
talking, and that's what kind of drew me in, man.
This man was at the
Yeah,
game.
man.
This man was at the game going, I'm better than him.
NBA game?
I'm better than him. I'm better than
Hey,
him.
I mean, I
He
could
breaking
hoop,
down
bro.
the game.
I could hoop,
That's
man.
so funny.
Like, so right there, that's a
that was
free
my
throw.
first
That's a
date.
free throw right there.
Juice, what about your first day, man?
So my first date, it's more like the millennial ways that we date nowadays. So I first saw my girlfriend on a dating app, and I didn't have any more likes, so I couldn't swipe her. But she had her Instagram on there.
Oh, I never got to live that lifestyle. Of swiping.
Hey, when you see
You're not
somebody you like
missing
on there and you
nothing.
have no more likes, it's like, what, you have nothing to do. You know, it's just like, missed it, you know? But her Instagram name is I Got That Juice.
Oh,
there
really?
we
You're
go.
Juice, and her
She's
Instagram
got the
name is
juice.
Got the Juice.
When I saw that and I remembered it, so I looked her up and as soon as I saw her, I was like, this is gonna be my girlfriend. And you know, people, you might have thoughts like that about somebody, but it never actually comes to fruition how you think. You can meet the person and don't kind of, you don't actually connect, right? So I started talking to her on Instagram. She was kind of giving me the cold shoulder. She responded and followed me, but it was kind of like on and off conversation. So I really wasn't feeling that too much. So I kind of like paused on it. And then we was going to Arizona. She lives in Arizona.
Yep.
We was going out there for a race. So I told her, I said, I'm coming out there and I just want to meet you one time. And if you don't like me, I'll leave you alone. But I told her I'm gonna be out there. I'm celebrating my birthday with my friends. So my birthday was November 8th. That's, you know, towards the end of the season when we go to Arizona. And I said, just come out with me one date. And if you don't like me, I'll leave you alone. She said, okay, I'll do that. So she ended up meeting me. And she told me that when she saw me, when I walked through the door, because I was late, she was like, that's gonna be my man. And she didn't tell me that till after, you know, we got together. But like, she said she felt that way about me. And I told her I felt that way about you just from your pictures. And just from the energy that I got from you, because she had such a beautiful smile.
She's probably like,
and that smile just was like, it was just electric to me. It was magnetic, I would say. And we had a great first date, and she ended up coming out with me for my birthday. You know, we had a great time, and yeah, that was just the beginning of our
To
story.
think it could have all gone away because you didn't have that light.
Because you didn't have that light.
Hold on,
Or if
Juice.
I could have liked it and just left it at that,
Hey,
she probably never saw the light.
Yours could have all went away too.
We both kind of have that. It was
Before it
already
started.
over.
Yeah, it kind of was. She was had it in her mind that it might have been over
That's
that
so
night.
She took her
funny.
time when that letter.
Persistent gentleman right here, brother. Persistent
Yeah, I know,
gentleman.
for sure, persistent.
And we all in the situation, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to you, my
Yeah.
boy. Where you at? What's your
Come on.
status? What you got?
Listen, fellas. You know, it's hard out here. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
and it is. And like, when your life is in different spaces, and luckily for me, my life keeps moving forward and my career keeps changing a little bit. And so to find somebody that kind of is in line with that and in tune with that, because you know, we're at the racetrack a lot, and there's a lot of people, a lot of different things. So having someone that understands that lifestyle and is cool with it is important. And then I think the most important thing for me in trying to find somebody is like, I don't want you to, once we get to this point, like, don't try to start changing me, because I don't want to change you. Like, the things that I'm attracted
That's
to.
some deep stuff.
Yeah, man, the things I'm attracted to, I want those things to stay there. I don't want you to start morphing into something else. I want us to grow together, but I don't want you to change. So, like, finding that has been a little bit more difficult here in this time of life.
I can't
but it's all right.
imagine.
And it's funny you talk about that, because that's kind of like going back to like my wife and meeting Emily. Like, she accepted me for me. That was the flaws, the imperfections, like when I met her, because like I was a basketball guy. You know, I was High Point didn't have a football team. So
He said basketball
so we
guy,
was
people.
so
that guy, he said basketball guy.
Oh, he said
God.
He said G-O-D.
I was a basketball
He
god.
said I was a basketball guy. That's what I heard.
ran high
I mean,
point.
hey,
I ran that place.
I mean that too. But no, so like she just accepted me for me, you know, and I wasn't perfect, you know, early on our stages, and she never gave up on me. So that's what like made it super special, and that's kind of like how I knew she was gonna be the one. And like as a dude, I could also hang around her. Like most of the time coming up, as we talking to girls and stuff like that, you get kind of tired of them. You don't want to be around them. How fast can I get away from her, or whatever the case may be. I could watch basketball. She was chilling. She could watch college games, football. You know what I'm saying? And that's
She
when I
get
was
into
like,
it. She get into what you like.
You get what I'm saying?
When you know,
So,
you know.
Yeah, bro. And
That-
it's just that feeling.
That's
man.
such a huge thing. Like, you know they're right because they don't try to change you. You don't try to change them. They accept your great things and your flaws. You know,
That
they-
part's important.
They got to
'Cause
be
you
able to.
don't get one
accept-
without the other.
Right. You got to be able to accept it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just never gave up, man. So I appreciate that, man.
So, Paul, you were just talking about like those two things. Like, is that how you knew that that's who you wanted to settle down with? Was because she accepted the flaws as well as the good stuff?
There was a couple different things with her. You know, I'm a pretty wild guy. I like to do a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of fun stuff. We'll say.
We know.
And-
We know.
Yeah, we're your friends,
We've
man.
seen
We know.
it. We've kept up.
and-
For those who don't know,
yeah, for those who don't know, I like to do a lot of fun stuff, and she accepted all that. Like, you know, she's had some hard conversations with me about, it, but she accepts it, and she knows how I am. She knows who I am and how I'm going to be, and she wants me to be that way. She wants me to be an energetic person who, you know, just loves life, lives it to the fullest, and you know, might do some dumb things sometimes. But the main thing for me with why I wanted to settle down with Meryl was she didn't want to have sex before we got married. And that's something
That's
in
hard.
past
These
relationships
days-
I've never done. Like,
These days,
yeah, you know, being a guy, being an alpha, going out in the wild, and like you're trying to meet girls and hook up, and that's just what that's the societal norm for guys is
the
go
question
out.
is, was
hook-
she being serious?
She was. She 100% was. And so like
I
when
was a witness.
yeah, when she said that, I was like, whoa, like I was pretty taken back by that because like I said, I've never done that in a relationship in the past. And I'm like, wow, all right, well, you know, I'm going to try this. She wanted to honor God with our relationship, and I wanted to too. And so we didn't have sex before we got married, and it was hard. it was hard. Not gonna lie, it was hard.
That's why they got married so quick. Because Paul was like, I'm ready.
right?
We got to go.
But no, like, so when she said that, I was like, wow, she's really serious about this relationship, and you know, I'm gonna be serious about it too. And I knew she was the one.
Hicks, what was the settle down point for you?
Probably, you know, my wife, it was just, you know, like when I met her, it was just like instant, like I could be myself, kind of like what Darrell was talking about. Like I didn't have to change who I was. She knew me because obviously the sport and the industry, like I didn't have to change who I was. She was cool to hang out with. you know, and it's just like an instant connection, right? Like it was just so laid back and chill. I'm like, wow, like this is like a breath of fresh air. Like it was just so chill, and I was like, that's like I knew immediately that was the one.
This is my wife.
Yeah. Juice, they're married. You're
You're
in a,
on there soon.
Yeah, soon. It's coming soon.
Oh, it is?
What waiting on, man?
Yeah, so what's the settlement like?
Come
It's
on,
just
man.
no rush. No
Trying to
rush.
find the right ring.
But it's just, yeah, you know, we got to do some steps that I would like to do first before we do that. But yeah, it's coming though. That's my plan.
Are you gonna tell us about the steps,
my
or
plan.
is that like when we can't talk
See,
about
No,
it?
it's like,
secret.
you know, we're going to move in first,
Okay.
you know, and then we're going to get a dog, you know.
Whoa!
You know what I'm saying?
That's kind
You
of the
know,
route we went.
Test
And
it out.
then, yeah, and then you do things accordingly. After that, it'll be, you know, the engagement. But yeah, that's on my mind. That's my plan because I wouldn't move her from Arizona to out here if I wasn't planning on marrying her. So
Right.
she knows that, and you know
High
that's
level
definitely my
commitment.
plan
High level commitment.
for sure. For
And
sure.
it sounds like, you know, throughout, as far as all of the whole relationship question, that we all kind of needed some kind of balance. Yeah. You know, Paul being wild, Juice, you know, however you came about and just meeting her, it just sounded like a balance thing in my thing, like the moral of the whole thing.
And I was pretty wild too.
That's what I'm saying. Like my wife don't drink, none of that stuff. So it's definitely a balance for me, man. Let's shift a little bit. Like, any of y'all got some crazy fears, like big fears in life, or how you feel on fear? Like anything
What
that
about
just
that quicksand,
scares
Paul?
That quicksand is no joke, boys. With them spiders crawling up your arms.
Yeah, man.
Talk about it. What you talking about?
Well, so I mean, spiders. Mariel is petrified of spiders. I'm petrified of snakes. I hate them. Like
I'm with you.
I'm
like
with you.
I like sometimes I'll have nightmares of like waking up in a snake pit or something. And it's just like
my gosh.
it's creepy.
How you get-
Come on now.
And hey, one time we had
How'd you get there?
we were hold on we were living in a loft. I was living in a loft that before we moved into our house together, and it was like we called it the barn. And I was living up in the loft, so I was in the barn area, and there was a lot of little critters and creatures in this deal. And one night, this big ass centipede plopped in my bed from the ceiling,
Oh, it's
and
over.
I
I'm
felt
out.
something crawling around. I'm like,
I'm out.
How big?
what and then it bit me. I'm like, oh, what is that? Turned my light
do
on, and I'm like, this big centipede was in my bed, and
I'm
I
out.
about jumped up onto the rafters.
I almost had a heart attack.
It was so that's a pretty big fear.
And snakes
I
or
think
the critters or
just like slimy critters that just move like that. They're
Nah, I'm with you.
they're diabolical.
You know what gets me every time? You know when you're just like walking around and then the spiders are kind of floating, like moving. They'll be moving off a tree or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
When you hit just one strand,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I
where's
feel
it?
it.
Like a spider web.
It's just
Bruh,
one.
You feel that spider web for like the next 5 minutes. You talk
Won't get off
sure.
me.
I'm a Devo
I hate,
picking
I hate that. I hate that. I hate
You
that.
got that feeling for like the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
What about you, Ed? You got some big fears?
Yeah, I mean, without getting emotional, I would say planes, man. Like, and the thing about it is,
You a buster.
and I-
You never tell me. I'm
that's
telling
the thing.
everybody. I'm
And
telling
I gotta fly in
everybody.
them every week, but man, in a plane, it's like you can't do anything. Right?
you're helpless.
You're helpless.
You're at the
So,
mercy of the.
You can hop out if you want.
When the plane starts doing this number right here, I do get.
Bro,
a
I
little,
never knew that,
get
but
a little-
I do see you sit in the front seat of the plane every
I'm
weekend when we
always in the
travel.
front.
That's why I wonder. Why don't they have like
I'm always in the
parachutes
front.
on every plane?
Now I know.
How many? What?
What about
wouldn't
a
they have
plane with a parachute?
Yeah, or like the plane.
The
can
back
have
of the
a
plane
parachute
comes
come
out
up.
in a parachute.
There's got to be somebody
That's a
smart
fact.
enough to
Come
do
on.
Yeah.
Maybe you
It's
should
like
patent
simple.
it.
Right.
Simple.
They got floating
let's
devices,
do it.
but they ain't got no parachutes.
Yeah.
You think that
too
y'all
late.
really think that everyone's gonna be able to put on a parachute and jump out that thing?
I mean, hey,
That might be more
some
dangerous.
people might.
That might be more dangerous.
I'd rather him try to put it back down in the Hudson than try to jump out that joker.
What's yours?
I fear, man, it's funny. I never grew up with like animals, so no dogs, no cats really, or nothing like that. My wife actually like introduced me to dogs, and I kind of embarrassed myself. The first time I went to a parent's house out in California, a 30-pound dog, bro. Like, I mean, I won't sit down on the couch. So like, I was scared of dogs, but I never came up with them, and it's like, it's not like a comfortable thing for me. So like, I had to learn, cause like, just coming up, how I can read y'all, read a person. I couldn't read a dog. So I'm like, it didn't matter how small it was, bro. Like I'm like, nah, I don't know what he thinking, man. He looked like he hungry. Like I'm good on him, man. Little Taquero Taco Bell dog. Like I'm, you know, you remember the commercials? Don't bluff.
I got a Great Dane.
nah.
This man came to my house and opened up the door,
Bro.
and he was like, whoop, shut the
This
door
man-
back. He's like, dude, you better get your
Bro,
dog.
a Great Dane. I mean, I was
could
scared
ride
of
that thing.
bro. I'm like, man, get your dog, man. Get your dog. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's like I had a fear of that, but now I'm better. I got a dog. I got a cat now, so I'm doing better. I'm still skeptical if I don't know the dog. But it's my dog, you know? Like
Your dog.
you know what I mean?
Your dog's kind of mean, you know.
I mean, she just jumps a little bit.
She gets
you know?
a little.
She would jump all on
Yeah,
your
I'm
leg.
doing better though, guys. I'm making leeway, man. What about you, Mama? You got some fears?
No, I mean, I had the spider thing. I want to know about Juice though. He ain't really. He's been real quiet about the fear situation.
I relate with you when you said something about dogs.
Come with me.
'Cause I used to get chased by dogs growing up in my neighborhood, but
You know what I'm
I
saying?
grew up around dogs, but they used to get loose a lot in my neighborhood, and you would have to run from them. So,
So that's why you fast.
Kind of dogs.
I mean, it just come with it. You know, you just develop skills over time, survival
Survival skills.
For sure. But my fear is cats.
Cats?
I don't trust cats.
Yeah,
You can't read them at all.
I agree to that.
And they're lightning fast, and they have claws, and you don't know what they're thinking. And I haven't really came across too many lovable cats. Like cats kind of do their own thing, they stay away from you. And I had a cat swipe at me, just seemingly for no reason. It's on the counter, basically like shoulder
Did it
level
really
with me,
swipe at you?
and it swiped at me, and I felt
When
it
I was
like
scared of animals, I
on
thought-
my arm. I'm like,
yeah.
and it just turn around, it just look at me like,
Yeah, cats.
cats.
don't-
I don't mess with cats.
Cats
They
are-
too-
feel your energy.
They too quick. They too
too
quick.
suspicious.
They too
Man.
suspicious and they too quick, and
I
you
like
don't know what
my
they're
cat.
thinking. A dog,
Yeah,
if
you're a
he
cat
barking,
guy.
you know what type of energy he's in. If a dog's barking, a cat, it can be minding his business, then jump on your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Ah,
a
man,
cat
I don't
person.
know. I like cats.
You're
now, man.
a cat guy.
I can't
Well, I
do
will say
cats.
this. What I've learned, I have both. I have a dog and a cat. They are less maintenance, for sure.
The cats.
So give them food, give
Yeah,
them
'cause
water.
they clean it. They clean
Yeah,
it.
they
so-
got,
they
yeah, they
box-
got
they
them
just go-
automatic
saying,
boxes
though,
now too.
I'm just saying, yeah.
But they're
that kinda
not
stuff.
friends. They just
Yeah.
go hide and like they just lurk.
They lay back after
Be
a while.
ready to
They
attack.
literally
The
just lurk.
kittens are the pain in the asses. That's
Kittens
what they
are
are.
kinda
They want to
cute.
play.
Kittens
They
are
are
kinda
cute. They
cute,
want to
though.
play and jump on you. and
Kittens
do
are
all
cute.
that.
They look
You know, older cats, they be kind of just
You know what
chilling.
they do?
You know what I mean?
Today.
So, but man,
Today, you made the perfect sound effects. Yeah, I can't even try to do it. Yeah, exactly.
so you're out. We got fears, all of that. And is there anything? I think about this all the time, and I'm kind of indecisive, you know, because I still am living out like my journey in life. But like I always ask myself the question as to what do I want to be remembered for? You know, if it was all to be over. And that's a big time question, deep question.
That's deep.
Some of y'all might can answer it now, or it might be for a later show. I don't know, but give me y'all thoughts. Have you thought about that? Like,
Let me
what do you
answer
want to
first,
be remembered
Because
for?
I've been going last every time. Let me answer first.
God,
He
take it.
took that necklace
yeah.
off.
Hey,
All of a
yeah.
sudden, big door is yours.
He
Yeah,
wants
hold
it.
on. Let me get
What
this
you wanna
off
be
right
remembered
quick.
for,
Come on, get
man?
it off.
He's
Tell
dropping the
us.
jack on that one. He said, "Give me that."
Yeah, you know I gotta take charge. But I want to be remembered for just being the truth, being like an authentic person. I think throughout my life, I know people that I've been friends with since I was like in kindergarten, second grade, high school, college, and I want to be like the same authentic person that they met. You know, like grown and mature, but I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm better than them because of what I've achieved or that I don't know them or don't remember them if I actually do. So I just want to be the truth in everything I do. If I say something, I want to be that. You know, I don't want to ever say any flaws in my character. So that's what I want to be remembered as above anything. That person was a real person. He's a real dude, and he's the truth. Shout out to Paul Pierce.
I like it. What about you, Paul?
Hey, what you got, Paul?
Man, that was a good one.
Yeah, he kind of took my
Yeah.
thunder with
Took-
that.
I wanted to
one,
go
be
first
honest.
just to put that out
he
there.
said-
I like it. You set
said
the
that.
bar.
He said
Yeah, he didn't want to
You
get
said
it.
that.
Yeah, there you go.
You set the bar,
you know,
bro.
I got one. It's kind of piggyback off that. I was thinking about this before we got on set. It's like I want to be the person that no matter what, like when it's all said and done, everyone's like, you know what, that dude always showed up. Like if I called him, and be the person like if you have my number and you don't even know me that well, and you called and you said that you needed some help, and I had the time, I could do that. I try to do that as much as possible. So I want to be the person that. It's not even about being like someone's hero or superhero, just like pulling through, because there's been plenty of times where I needed people to pull through and there was nobody around at that time, you know what I mean? So I think being that person for people is important.
Well, I mean, I want to be remembered for the best rapper in the game. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Y'all know he be
man,
spitting.
spit something.
I would.
What you got, Hicks?
I would probably say I want to be remembered for, being the best dad.
Oh.
Like when people
That's
look
bad.
back and they're like, you know what? From start to finish, he was the best dad on the planet. That's probably what I want to be remembered for.
That's cool.
You want other
That's a
people
deep
that
one.
say that you're the best dad? You want your kids to call you the
Well,
best
obviously
dad?
my kids.
People
right?
who see him, how he interacts
But,
with his
yeah,
kids
I
too.
mean,
It's- I
all,
feel like it's
all
a
the
massive
above, right?
compliment.
Yeah.
That is-
Yeah, like
that is a
anytime
massive
somebody,
compliment.
Yeah.
man, you're a really good
Yeah,
dad.
he was a
Makes you
great
feel
dad.
great.
That's what I want to be remembered for.
Swanee?
Y'all going deep. You got something for you?
I mean, that's
Or me?
a deep question, man.
It's
That
kind of
is-
tough.
That's a deep.
I'll go, Paul.
That's
Let
your
you think a little bit
lasting
more.
memory.
Yes.
For me, I mean, I don't know if you can sum it up in like one thing. Just like a good dude, man. Like, just touching people in a way that, from high school, every like place that I've been, that they like, man, that dude, like he just a cool dude. He always trying to help and just make people better. You know
Man,
what
you
I mean?
touch me every day, man.
Man, I know.
Touch me every day at practice.
I appreciate that, but
Every
like
day.
just like an everlasting, like man, there's no secret recipe. Treat people how you want to be treated, and that dude, he was just a good dude, man. Like he always was the same. You know what I mean? He never really fluctuated. His energy was up, no matter like what I might be going through personally. Like, you don't got to put that on other people. Like that energy. You know what I mean? So like. He just was the same guy every time we saw him. Just cared about everybody.
Yeah.
Been the same since I met you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
100%.
For real.
Man, come on now. Don't be nice to this man.
Been the same since
All
I
right.
met you.
It's getting pretty.
Just making sure.
His name is Truth.
Now hey,
Juice the truth.
Juice the Truth.
man, you can add it. Sound good to me. Sound
Yeah,
good to me.
man.
We're getting pretty deep. I think it's about time to take them gloves off, boys.
Keep it going, man. Listen,
Uh-oh.
on Drop the Jack, y'all know, every show, man, we like to take the gloves off, quiet it down, turn the music down a little bit, and get a little bit vulnerable, man. So let's talk about a defining moment that ultimately, like, changed your life. You know what I mean? Like, just to get you the kind of way you are now. Like, what defining, pivotal moment changed your life?
That's a hard question.
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, you started off again.
you're on fire.
Yeah, you're on fire right
Another
now.
one.
Go ahead.
I'm on it again. My defining moment that got me where I was at was really getting injured in football. Because that was my passion. That was what I was good at. That was what I was confident in. And I was on a trajectory to, play beyond college. But once I fractured my ankle making a tackle, that kind of like, put me on a different track. And that's how I ended up working in NASCAR. Just getting injured, recovery, rehab, wearing a boot 2 times, graduating, going to a whole different school so I can play. And that put me in a position where that's when I got recruited into, NASCAR from there. But if I would have never got injured, I would have probably continued to pursue football for as long as my body would let me. And that would have put me, who knows where that put me. So, yeah, that was like the defining moment that I saw in hindsight, like, that's what changed the whole direction right there when that happened. And I looked at it as a bad thing, but then when I look at, the people that play football that pursued it as long as they could, they kind of like in like a limbo now with what they want to do, so they don't have like a career that they can,
100%.
that they love, like what I do now. So
Yeah.
I think it helped me.
I would probably say mine would be when I picked up a pick gun. Because, I mean, up to that point, I was just living life. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do, who I was going to be. I was just having fun and just having a good time. And when I picked up that pick gun and I was decent at it, I mean, everything kind of fell in place and the pieces just kept falling in place and just kind of kept going with it. And that's kind of my changing moment.
Now you're a young legend.
That's right.
For me, it was definitely. I mean, there's been different moments because I feel like I've had so many different jobs and careers. So like every one helps you get to this spot. You know what I mean? But when I finally raced on the national level in the ARCA series at IRP, and it was on TV and everyone back home could watch, and I ran well. We did well. Was competitive just off the couch, and then the industry at large was like, oh, like because most people never really saw me race. So when they finally were able to, and for me to do well, I felt like I I felt like I had set out and did everything at that point that I said I was going to do when I left high school. And everyone was like, what are you going to do when racing doesn't work out? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I got one-way ticket. So that was a moment that was just like, because I already had won the championship.
Where'd you finish that race?
I think we finished 8th or 9th.
Okay.
My back, I didn't point insert, my back collapsed with 75 laps to go.
That's good.
So that was great. But yeah, no, that was
Gutted
definitely
it out.
gutted it out. I was so upset because I think we could have finished like 5th, but that's neither here nor there. So
Put yourself on the map.
Yeah.
it helped, man. It helped a lot.
Yeah, for me, it definitely meeting my wife, meeting Mariel. I know it's probably a cliche, but like for me, for real, like meeting her changed my life. Like she is, anybody who's ever come into contact with her, she is such an absolute light. She's such a good person. She's the best person I've ever met. Like her faith, getting choked up talking about it.
This man's about to get some serious brandy points. I mean,
I like it.
Her faith, her personality, the way she treats people, like she's always putting people ahead of herself. And like for me, like I was just some dumb football player, athlete who just loved partying, loved having a good time. And like when I met her, like she just made me such a better person. Every time I came into contact with her, I just felt like she elevated me, and still this day elevates me and just makes me feel so much more secure with myself and just life. And we have a beautiful daughter now, and watching her become a mother has been such a cool thing to see. And she just keeps crushing life basically, and really makes me somebody better in my life and made me become who I am, makes me feel confident to step out of my comfort zone to do things, and really has made me become really successful in all the things I've tried doing. So
Thank God for her.
absolutely.
For the record, to my wife, we paper, rock, scissors for that, and he won. So he got
man's
that.
smart. Right
So,
there.
I mean,
That man's
I'm
smart.
just letting y'all know.
Yeah, and for me, man, it's probably the most recent thing that's happened in my life, and that's having my son. You know, and I know that's like just not long ago. He's only 2 years old, but it gave me a different perspective and outlook, you know, on life. Like, you know, how I looked at everything. I spent 30-ish years doing everything for me. And soon as I had my son, it was like, now I'm living for him. You know what I mean? And
Game changer.
yeah, it just puts everything in like just hindsight. You know what I mean? Just
Changes when you got somebody to take care of.
Yeah, you know what I mean? For however many years, like I don't think it never. You know, they say 18 you move outside of the house, but like, man, you got them. You know, we got our kids for forever. So like, he really gave me a different perspective and outlook on everything. You know what I mean? So it's been awesome just having my son. You know what I mean? So.
Listen,
Bro,
hang on,
did
time
your-
out.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
not
yeah.
you.
Come on, man.
Are you kidding?
What was that?
Hey, I'm like Devo. You supposed to get your
They
chain.
said,
Yeah, it was, my chain is
silence
on,
your
right? I'm not
phones.
on.
He's a rookie.
Jeez,
It's his
man.
first. Sorry, America. He's still
Yeah.
new at this.
He's still new. He's getting the hang of it.
Of course I would do something
You
like
should have
that.
just answered it. You should have just picked it up.
hello.
Like, hey.
Juice.
It was somebody
I'll
from
call you
Buffalo.
back.
Somebody from Buffalo. I don't know.
Well, man, appreciate you for allowing your phone to ring, man. Appreciate the audience for showing up. You deserved your chain taken. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys for joining in,
might take
man.
him
Another episode of Drop the Jack. Y'all see where we going with this. Keep following the journey. You can check us out on NASCAR.com, YouTube, and anywhere that you get your podcast. And we out. We gonna cheers to that one more time.
Deserved.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, America.